Good morning, everybody. It is 9 o'clock straight up, and because I know everybody has busy Mondays, we're going to go ahead and get started. We just went live on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you're joining us on any of the social media platforms, please comment. Let us know where you're joining us from. Also, let us know what business that you're a part of and what industry you're in. My name is Megan McFall. I'm the Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center down here in southeastern Utah. We deal with a lot of tourism type businesses. And so as I go throughout this presentation, you will hear me talk a lot about tourism type industries. But if you, is my mic picking up? I'm not getting a signal very well over here. Can you put in the chat, if you're on Zoom, put in the chat if you can hear me, so that I know if it's coming across. Anyway, I'm down here in southeastern Utah, and we deal with a lot of tourism type industries. And so as I go throughout this presentation, I will talk a lot about tourism industry. I will also talk about my own personal experiences on YouTube. I have built 3 different channels on YouTube and spent a lot of time building those type of businesses. And it is probably one of my most favorite platforms to actually build and engage with business, your business audience, as well as create revenues with your business. Now, one of the questions I get all the time is, how do you keep YouTube and social media platforms from taking over and becoming a secondary full-time job? I will address those questions at the end, more towards the Q&A. So if you have those type of questions, let's answer those in the Q&A. I want to take a minute to thank our co-host today. It's the Rural Online Initiative. It is an incredible program here. It was started in Utah by Utah State University in conjunction with the state legislature. And what it did is it's a certificate to help people become more efficient as remote workers. So if you are personally working remotely, whether it be within your business or in a job somewhere, working remotely, I highly encourage you to take this certificate. It actually taught me something. I took this certificate about 18 months ago, and I took it as, I'm going to take this so that I can tell people what it's about, and that I can encourage people to take it, obviously, because it was an important thing. Being here in southeastern Utah, mostly tourism is a seasonal industry. So when we're out of tourist season, people needed other ways to make money. And so remote work is a great way to do that. So I'm thinking, I need to take the certificate so when I tell people to take this, I can tell them what it's like. I'd worked remotely in businesses for years, and I thought I was an expert, right? I take the certificate and I learned a thing or two and realized that I wasn't such an expert after all, and that I was missing out on some great opportunities or some great softwares and things that would make my life so much easier. So like I said, if you are working remotely in any shape or form, I highly encourage you to look into that, because like I said, it taught me a thing or two. I also want to thank our partners at Grow with Google and Google for creating the content and allowing us to share this across the board with everybody. If you have any questions as we go throughout this, feel free to put that in the chat and put it in the comments on the social media. If I don't catch the questions through the presentation, because I like to catch the questions and be able to answer that and make it particular to your business, I will answer those in the Q&A at the very, very end. So let's go ahead and get started. We're talking about how to use YouTube to grow your business. Okay, on YouTube, YouTube is where people watch, obviously, YouTube video. Those where people watch the top 250 million hours per day. That's an amazing amount of essentially videos watched, right? They discover new things. 86% of US viewers say that they often use YouTube to learn new things. The DIY during COVID, I don't know about you guys, but I did a lot of DIY. I bought a new house and I needed to do some DIY, and that's where I learned it. Because it just something that we could bring contractors in. They were all booked out. So if I wanted something done, I had to go and learn it myself. And YouTube was my main place that I did it. Did I do it all perfectly? No. But it was really nice to have a place to go and figure that out and say, I can work this out, right? And then engagement. 33% of shoppers say that they purchase products they found on YouTube. Why is that so important for your business? Now think about if you had a YouTube channel and you're showing your product and demonstrating your product on YouTube, 33% of they say that they purchased the products they found on YouTube. That can have a profound influence on your revenues. Okay, today's agenda, we're going to create a YouTube channel for those that either already have a YouTube channel and need to create a business YouTube channel, or never have had a YouTube channel and need to know how to create one. We're going to show you how to create one today. There's a staggering number of businesses that do not have one for their business, and it's a powerful tool to create revenues for your business. We're going to show you how to add videos to your channel, how to stream live through YouTube like we're doing today, and then promote your business through video ads. And then last but not least, we're going to recap and show you some resources that you can use moving forward. Okay, creating a YouTube channel. Many might already have this, but some don't. So we're going to go ahead and go through this. So if you go to youtube.com and go into that top right-hand corner, you're going to have the sign in button. If you already have a Gmail or a Google account of any sort, you already have a YouTube account. And you can go in that right-hand corner and sign in using your Gmail information. Now, if you have a business and a business email associated with Google Workplace or any of that, then you have that created through that. And I encourage you that you connect your Google Workplace email with your YouTube channel, and you always connect those two, because that's what people are going to associate. Okay, so you already have a Gmail, you sign in. Now you need to create a channel. So you're going to click the drop down in that right-hand corner, and one of those options under your profile is create a channel. So you're going to click create a channel. This lovely little screen is going to pop up in the middle, and you're going to click get started. Okay, from get started, we're going to move into the next phase. You're going to pick what kind a channel essentially do you want, as you're going to use it, create your channel named for your business or for a brand. Now, people often get confused. Which one's which ones do I choose? Well, I have 3 different YouTube channels. A lot of people are like, whoa, okay. I have one specifically named after my business. Okay, I put business videos that talk about finance and wealth. I have a Wine and Wealth Wednesdays that are up there, things like that. It's very directed towards my business. I have another one that is for me. It's my brand. It's who I am. And so it's for me as a public figure. I speak a lot at conferences, and I'm able to build a brand based on that YouTube channel. So it would depend on what you're trying to accomplish through YouTube. Okay, based on what you're trying to accomplish, are you trying to accomplish a personal brand, or are you trying to build one for your business? And these are the different things that you're going to want to figure out and then be able to build from there. Okay, from there, you're going to want to customize your channel. You're going to upload a photo that's going to best represent your channel. Like I said, for my business one, I have a logo. For my personal one, I actually have a brand photo that I put up. That's up to you what you want to put there, but you want to make sure that it best represents your brand or what you're putting that channel up there for. Okay, make sure it matches your branding, whether it's your brand or your business. Okay, add your channel details. You're going to write a description, you're going to add your website, and you're going to add your social links. These are very, very important. If somebody happens to search a video and stumble upon your video and then think, oh man, I really like this person, or I really like this product, and wants to do more research on who you are and your background or your business and your products, they need to have that ability. These are 3 areas that get left behind a lot because it takes time to set these up. It takes time to set them up properly. This is another area. If you've gone to any of my classes, you know I'm really big on keywords and SEO and making sure everything is linked. You're going to want these 3 areas to match your website, all of your social medias. You want to have a consistent branding and a consistent messaging across the board. So when you write your description, You're going to want it to match the description within your social media platforms and your websites, and making sure that you're following those same information. If you change your description on your website, you need to go and change your description on your YouTube page, all your social media places, so they all add and match together, so you have a consistent branding across the board. Okay, adding your website, even if your website's not perfectly done, still get your website on here, because there's nothing worse than having to go back and add information, because it gets forgotten all the time. I still find stuff. We did this in one of my businesses. We did this and we set up all of our social media platforms early so that we could save the name, right? Because that happens a lot. People go in and steal the name so that you have to pay them to get it. It's a big thing right now. And we did not put websites and other social media platforms. And I'm still finding platforms that are missing information even today, and it's years later. And I thought I'd gone through them all and got all that caught up. Don't do it. Go through, and as you're setting it up, get your website link in there, get all your social media links, all of that stuff. Do it all at the same time if you have to. Don't miss those spots, because it's vital to be able to connect them all together. And I apologize, I'm already losing my voice today. Okay, you can customize your channel. Now, customizing your channel is going to be an important aspect to connect your brands together. That customizing your channel is going to be the URL at the top. So for me, I put whatever my brand was for me as a public figure. And then for my business, I use my business name. You can go in and customize that channel through your YouTube studio. So again, that it matches all your social media platforms. So your Facebook has a name, your Instagram has a name, your YouTube has a name, all the same, and it matches across the board. It's one of the reasons why when I'm working with a business, I said, when you're picking your name, you need to go through all of the social medias you intend to be on and make sure that you're able to pull that name. And then as soon as you get that name legalized, you need to go in and steal that name so nobody else can steal it. So you have it across the boards. Okay, the other thing that you'll come across in your Studio Creator is your video upload. And this is where you can create your video and upload your videos as well in your Studio Creator. Okay, you want to customize your layout. Now, customizing and organizing your layout as your home page where people will start to visit is going to be important. You can figure out what you want the video. You have a video that basically is a trailer video for you or your business that is highlighted the very first thing people go when they go to your YouTube profile. You can also have your featured sections, and you can customize these to your preferences so that you essentially have set up yourself for success on YouTube. Okay, and every business is going to be different. So there's not one specific layout that should be specifically optimized or anything like that. Every business, depending on what kind of business you are, is going to be adjusted just a little bit, because your ideal target audience is going to have a different way of thinking or a different mindset, just slightly different. So you need to figure out what's best for you and your business and your marketing strategy to fit there. Okay, customizing your brand in YouTube Studio. Okay, you want to customize your homepage, but you also want to make sure you brand it to match all of your other items, your website, on all your social media. So when people see your page, they can say, oh, that's this business. They know immediately when they see that, because they've seen it on your Facebook and your Instagram, and they've seen it on your website. They know exactly who it is. You want to customize that branding so it looks the same across the board, so people can pick that up immediately and know exactly who that is and exactly who they're going to be participating in. Just like you need a banner on all your social media platforms, you're going to need a banner on LinkedIn, or sorry, on YouTube. I'm losing my mind, sorry guys, on YouTube. Okay, the banner sizes are going to be different. I personally use Canva. I love Canva to be able to create the right sizes for each of these, and Canva actually has the specific layouts and things like that. They'll fit these perfect dimensions because they're different. The other thing you want to be very cautious about is, what does it look like on the different applications? This is what it looks like on a big computer screen. This is what it looks like on a desktop. This is what it looks like on their mobile app. And here's the interesting part. The majority of videos are watched on what? The mobile app. So that's what you want to pay very, very close attention to. If they're going onto your profile page and your banner can't be really seen because it's on the mobile app, it only shows a portion of that, you need to make adjustments to that. You need to make sure that you're looking and paying close attention that it actually fits the page. Okay, customizing your basic information. You want to make sure that your channel name and your description obviously is there. We talked about that. Creating your channel URL and the links in your contact information is there. Here's the other thing. If you're putting your links in your contact information, if you're a home-based business, realize you need to be cautious as to what information you're putting out there, because now you're a home-based business and you're putting out there your contact information publicly, okay? This is something that a lot of people don't consider when they're opening a home-based business and they put a lot of information out. You've got to remember that you are got to keep track of your home security and your family's security, okay? When you open up your LLC, that's public information. If you're putting your home address as your home address for your LLC, that's public information, okay? If they are searching your name and they can go online, they can search your name and find your address. Be cautious of that. It's one of the reasons why our co-working center here did what's called a virtual office, so that people could use our address here for home-based business. And all their mail and everything comes here. They just have to come pick it up once a week if they have mail. But be cautious of that. When you're going on YouTube or any of the social media platforms and you're putting your home information, whether it's your home phone number, you have a landline, any of that kind of stuff, think about how that can be searched and your own home security for you and your family. As a single woman living alone, I had to be very conscious of that. And so I had to make adjustments to that and make sure that I'm keeping myself secure. If you've got kids, make sure you're doing the same thing. If you're a business and you're a brick and mortar business, it might be a little bit different, but just be cognizant of those type of situations when you're putting contact information out on social media. Okay, customizing your channel. This is essentially what a homepage would look like. This is somebody's homepage. They have a great banner picture that comes up. It shows what they do, right? In the little, they have a profile picture. They chose to use a picture of themselves because they are their page. This is who they are, right? And then they have a spotlight video showing a quick DIY tutorial because that's who they are. They are DIY channel. They create different things. And so that's what they put on there, a quick video that would draw people in and make them want to watch the next video. So this is essentially an idea of a great profile picture or a profile of somebody's business. Okay, going on to the next page. You can do videos that are grouped together in sections. They're called playlists. And so ultimately on your videos, you can do different playlists or you can upload them all individually. It's nice to do playlists because a lot of your subscribers are going to want to watch videos in successions. Have you guys ever done a podcast and like binged on an entire season because it was so good? Ultimately, your idea is you want to essentially create the same thing for your viewers. You want to create playlists that your viewers want to watch because they're so good. And so that's essentially what you're creating there. Okay, creating and adding videos to your channel. Okay, it's a lot easier to make videos these days than what it used to be back when I started. You had to have special cameras and microphones, and it was really costly. These days, our iPhones and our Androids actually have incredible cameras. I still encourage you guys to get a microphone. It makes a huge difference in audio quality, and audio quality is really, really huge. But at the end of the day, it's so much easier to do videos and upload than it's been ever before, okay? When you are creating your videos, these are some things I want you to ask yourself when you're creating your content or laying out your content for your channel. What story do you want to tell? Okay, what is the purpose of this video? And then who is the star of the video? You yourself, if you were like me when I first got started and you don't want to be on camera, and I see a lot of people aren't on camera today. I appreciate the one person that's on camera because it helps me as I'm talking. Who is the star of this video? A lot of channels, if you go and watch, they actually have other people other than the channel owner as the star of the video. They go and interview other businesses or other experts in that area, or they show other items rather than the actual owner. They are just an over narration. There we go, a narration of that video rather than having to be on camera, and that's totally fine. It's your choice because it's your video. It's you figuring out what you want out of your video. So these are 3 questions that you need to ask as you're creating your video. So let's go over a few best practices. Okay, 1 is share a clear, concise message. Okay, as we're watching videos, a lot of videos are very short, usually 3 to 5 minutes when we're beginning. Sorry, excuse me. 3 to 5 minutes when we're beginning, because we're just barely starting out. We're getting our audience. And we usually lose people's attention after 5 minutes. So if we can keep the initial videos 3 to 5 minutes, very quick, short, show them the basic information that we want to show them. And then as we start building an audience, we can start expanding and making those longer and longer. You'll see that as people are starting out their channels, they're short. And then as they start building their audience and get more views, they go up to longer and up to even 20, even 30. I've seen them for even 90 minutes, depending on the topic. So that's kind of the trend, okay? Make a strong impression within the first 5 to 15 seconds. And a lot of people go, oh my goodness, what kind of information can I get out in 5 to 15 seconds? Well, if you think about it, 5 to 15 seconds is really a long time when you're conveying a message. Think about as you're watching the ads, because sometimes you have to go through 2 ads before you actually see the video that you want. Think of how much information is conveyed in those ads. A lot of those ads are only 15-second ads, and yet they can get out a lot of information. So be thinking about that as you're thinking what 5 to 15 seconds looks like. But at the same time, think 5 to 15 seconds is when you'll either capture your audience or they're going to click next. So think about that process, okay? And then deliver a compelling call to action and a timely offer. Okay, your call to action is what is going to move your audience from just an audience member to an actual engaged member that turns into revenues. And putting a timeline on it will actually put that in a quicker fashion. When you pick something like it's a commodity, it's an act now type of a thing, we're more likely to do it right now, or it's going to be taken away from us. And anytime something's taken away from us, all of a sudden we want it even more. So make sure you're putting a timely offer on your call to actions. Okay, tips for shooting your video. Okay, first thing, think about your space. You want a space that's free of clutter. Think of the visual aspect. What do you want to show your audience? Okay, show your logo somewhere in that space, whether you have it actually the branding, some of the putting it in the corner of the video as an actual edited add-in, or you actually have it created somewhere in your studio if you're created a studio, whatever that looks like. Your lighting, use natural lighting if possible. If you don't have all the fancy lights and stuff that you see, you don't necessarily need that. You can just use an open window with really great natural light, and it does a really, really good job. Face your source. So a lot of people will they have a window over here and they're filming this direction. You're only going to get light on this house. You got to face the window to make sure you get full lighting on you as you speak and as you record, okay? And then look for shadows. Always do a test run, a 30-second test run, and then go and watch it and see where your shadows are and correct those shadows. Your lighting is going to be huge in the quality of your videos. And then next is sound. Listen to the space. Now, one thing I really don't like about my training room here is it echoes. We've got lots of sound absorbers coming in, but they're on back order because of supply chain, right? I live in a place where logistics can sometimes be a little difficult. They're on back order thanks to COVID. Hopefully I'll have them by the end of the month. But it echoes. If you're in an area that echoes, rethink how you're doing that. Do you need to get some sound absorbers? Do you need to change your location? Think about things like that. Use a mic. Like I said before, use a mic. Your sound quality is going to be so important to make sure that you're able to really get a quality video out. And then speak confidently. When we are not used to speaking on camera, we tend to have safety words. My safety word currently is okay. I used to be I just said it. As you record, start listening for your safety words that you do when you are nervous or that you do when you fidget, things like that. And start correcting those as you go along. If you go back and watch my very first videos, you'll notice those like this. And you're like, oh my gosh, she does that. I noticed those and I've worked very, very hard to correct those and to be able to film very smoothly, a little bit better anyway. I have gotten out of the habit of filming in the way I used to film, but at the same time, they're very, very important aspects. And now that I've said that, you're going to catch me saying okay and constantly. Mark my words, okay? On to the next, how to upload, okay? Sorry guys, doing it. To upload, click the create button that's up in the right-hand corner next to the camera. Use the upload, click on the upload and you're able to either drag and drop, which is my favorite thing because I hate to go and look through files, and be able to drop it in, or you can go and look through files and select it and it will upload it. It'll take you to this screen here. This screen is where you're able to put all the information about your video and the tag words and everything else onto the screen. This screen is going to be one of the most important screens that you work with because this is where you're able to put your keywords for search engine optimization. This is where you're able to put your title. Now, some people like to get really, really fancy with the titles. I did for a long time. I realized the ones that I had fancy titles on actually did really, really poorly in the analytics, and they weren't viewed even though they were really good videos. When I went back and I did simple titles and the basics of what it was, they actually did much better. I actually did a comparison and I left the old video and then I uploaded the same video with a simple title and it did really, really well. So a lot of people just like simple titles. So be thinking about that when you're uploading your videos, that it is a simple, keep it basic. Don't make people think too hard about it. They want to do very, very quickly as they're going through their searches. Your description is a great place to capitalize on your keywords for your SEO to match up with your website and what you have going on there, as well as your social medias. It kind of brings it all together on that particular topic. The next is going to be the thumbnail that they use to show off that initial picture for your video. Now, my favorite part is YouTube will pull up about 4 or 5 pictures that will be from your video that it will think that is a great thumbnail. It's not. It'll, without fail, pick the 4 pictures with your mouth open or your arms in the air or the weirdest pictures it can possibly pull up, and do not use those. My highest recommendation is that you do not use those. Get on Canva, get on one of these design things. Canva, you can get a basic for free and be able to do this. I personally love the paid version because you get so much more. It's completely up to you, but get on there and give you a really good picture that fits that topic that you can choose so you know exactly what you're portraying to the audience. Okay, and upload that to that particular spot. At this point in time, you can pick your playlist that you're going to put this in. Remember, we talked about sections and wanting to create that bingeable playlist. This is right here where you can assign this particular topic to the topic or the playlist that you want. And this is also where you pick your audience. Now, this audience section is going to be extremely important. YouTube changed their rules about 18 and under, I want to say about a year ago. I don't remember the exact date. You need to go and read those so you know what the rules are and what the requirements are, okay? It is very, very strict. We're going to put that for you. So you as the content creator are now responsible to make sure you're putting in responsible information. And if any of the topics at one point or another in that video cross a line, you are responsible to mark it on here. And if they come across and they find it, your channel could be in big trouble. So you need to mark it. Is this content for 18-year-olds or over? If there's any topic in here, you need to mark it. There's another section is, can it be viewed by children? It might not be for 18 and younger, but there might not be anything in there that would necessarily hurt them. And so they don't need to block it either. So there's things like that. It's your responsibility as the creator to make sure that you're marking these correctly, because it will come back on you. So make sure you know that policy and know what's okay and what's not okay. So the next screen that you'll go over is this. This is the paid promotions. If you're getting paid to promote any product, you need to mark that. And if you've noticed lately, up in the top right-hand corner, it'll say paid promotional, up in that top-hand corner of any video that has a paid promotion. So you have to mark that now. Again, another item, if you don't tag it properly, you're going to get yourself into trouble. So make sure you're tagging that properly. Okay, the next one is the tags. So this is a great way, again, to line up with your website, with the product. If you're getting a paid promotion, this is another place where you tag that particular item. In languages and closed captions, this is another area where you can pull in new audiences. And then recording date and location. You can put that here. This is really great for a business that has a specific brick and mortar in a set place. This is a place I would encourage you to be cautious if you're a home-based business and don't want people to know your set location. For example, on my business that has a brick and mortar location that we have publicized, I have set this location for that business. However, for me personally, I live out in the middle of nowhere, kind of, and I don't want anybody publicly really to know my home address or where I'm at. And so I don't set this on my public figure page. So you need to decide what's important here. Again, it goes back to your personal safety and how you feel about that. That's how I personally feel about that. I don't want to put my personal information out there so that if something happens, I'm not putting myself at risk. However, for my business, I have a brick and mortar. It's publicized. If you get on Google Maps, you can find exactly where my offices are. And so that's a different situation because it's already out there. Your call, your business, that's something that you need to decide to do. Okay, licensing and distribution. This is another place where you can go through and figure out who can utilize your video. Essentially, this is where you can block things. And how you can license this video. And then shorts permissions. You can allow people to use your content or not allow them to use your content. Now, here's a tricky thing. It's kind of become a little bit of a business, for lack of a better term, to pull other videos offline and kind of go through them and not necessarily be nice about other people's videos. And so this is a place where you can block that if you choose to. And so just depending on what industry you're in, that could be an issue for you. I choose to block it for my personal videos. You can choose to do whatever you choose for yours, okay? The different categories that this would go into. So if it's a person and blog, or if it is health and fitness or different things like that, this is the drawdown that you can put this video in. And then comments and ratings. So you can either pull your comments off or you can actually put them on so people can comment and drive up your traffic. Okay. At the very, very end of videos, you'll notice that there's you can either the round little circle goes to their homepage, or they have different videos that you can click on to go to another video on their particular playlist. This is where you can add that. You also, if you listen to videos, they say, we'll put a card up here in this corner. This is also where you can add that. You could add these different items before you post it. So if you have, for example, I'll refer to on a regular basis, oh, you need to go and watch this video Or if you haven't gone to this class, do this class. I say that all the time in these particular videos. I will go through, if I have the time, and add the card for that particular class if I have it on my YouTube channel. If I just need to get it up, I won't do that. I apologize. My schedule gets a little crazy from time to time, but that way they can say, oh, I really need to watch this, and they have the ability to go click on that card and watch that video. Or at the very, very end, if there's another related video, you can put those in, or if you have a playlist, you can put those in as well. This is where you would have the ability to add that. Last but not least, defining your visibility, okay? This is where you choose, do you want this as a published? This is published as everybody can see it publicly, unlisted, so only very specific people who you choose who have a specific link, or you can have it completely private. Now, let me give you some examples of this. So we do, for my business, we have trainings for all of our agents. These trainees cannot go out to the public because of their SEC guidelines and things like that. They can't go out to the public. So we have a private list that only goes out to our trainees, and they get a link to that. And so we will upload that. It's really great for businesses that have specific training videos and things like that. Office assistants will sometimes create videos to do that, to show people how to like plug in their time or how to fill out forms and items that can fit into that. The unlisted items will not go on your playlist, but you can send out a link and people can watch it publicly. Okay, and then the public ones, they just go out anywhere, and anybody can watch them, and they can be searchable and things like that. So those are the different options. Depending on what you're used for, will depend on what you want to publicize it. You can change the setting on any of them at any time. So if you have a video that goes up and something goes wrong, and oh my goodness, there's something that you want to edit out of it, you can pull it and put it as an unlisted until you have time to edit that. Or say you have a unlisted video for a special group, like you're having a group challenge, like we did a 90-day group challenge. And we did all of the 17 classes in that group challenge on an unlisted site for that entire 90 days. So they could go back and watch and rebuild and build their branding. And then at the end of that 90 days, we moved everything public so that anybody could watch those. The next thing you have is the schedule. And I personally love the scheduling is because the whole idea of spending your entire life on social media and YouTube, and it encompasses your entire life, is not good because you've got businesses to run and you've got different things that you have to do, families to take care of. And so by having the scheduling, you can actually upload and have it scheduled to come out on your normal scheduled time, but you can schedule months in advance and have them go out on time, and people think that you're running on your regular schedule, but you really filmed everything 2 months ago or whenever it was. And so that's a great feature to keep you from having YouTube take over your life. Okay, once you've published this, then you can share it on any of these social media platforms. You want to make sure that you get those shared so you can get an immediate view, immediate list, so that it ranks higher in the searches. And a lot of people don't know that. You want to make sure that you get that shared across all your social media platforms, especially if you're a regular poster. You want to make sure you're getting on there and you're getting it shared so that you are able to get those uploaded. The embedded ones, I love the embedded link because we use that. We'll upload it on our YouTube page, and this can be either public or private, and then we'll go embed it into like our blog, or we'll embed it into our website and different things like that. That's a great place to utilize that particular item. Okay, how to stream live with YouTube. It took me a long time to master this particular item because it's different from all of the other platforms. There's different aspects of that. So what is YouTube Live? You have reach and impact with people in real time. That's one of my favorite things. Is I love to get on like a YouTube live stream or a social media live stream, because you have people commenting and asking questions in real time. You can talk and interact with your audience right there and then, okay? Your stream may appear in your YouTube search results, which is really cool. If somebody is searching the particular topic, you're live on that particular moment, then they can get on right then and ask questions and get their questions answered, and you will instantly gain credibility and gain a new audience person. But if you schedule it in advance, for example, as you can schedule actually lives in advance on YouTube, it'll come up and it'll say this person will be live at this date and this time. And so they can say, oh, I really want to see that. And they can put it in their schedule as well. So that's another great option. Okay. How your business can benefit. So live events are incredible. Again, that audience interaction. Expert interviews. One of the really neat parts about doing it live is having an expert in that particular industry, whether it's yourself or bringing somebody in and having that interview with them on live. Because again, you're answering those questions in the moment. The frequently asked questions or Q&As, that's a big thing right now. And having whatever questions are coming up regular in your comments, or you're getting a lot of emails, it's a great place to go through and answer those questions and have them set and be able to interact with your audience. But the other thing to do that is now you have a recorded copy of those frequently asked questions. So if you get those again, you can actually go over and say, oh, watch this YouTube, and it'll answer that question. And so you're not regurgitating that constantly. You now have a video with that question. And then to demo new products. For some reason, and I actually watch them these too, so I can't really say, I have no idea why, but unpacking and demoing new products is a huge thing. People want to know how stuff works and what it looks like, and gets those reactions is a huge part. It is a huge thing of YouTube, and it actually pulls your engagement inside, and they can actually ask those questions as you pull it out. Why does it look like that? Why does it do that particular item? Hey, can it do this as well? You all of a sudden have somebody right there answering those questions live to them, and it becomes an interactive experience rather than just watching a video on YouTube. Excuse me. Okay, you have to enable live streaming 24 hours in advance before you actually want to go live. This is something I learned the hard way. I thought I was going to be all cool and I was going to go live on one of these training sessions, and I told everybody it was going to be live on YouTube, and I went to go live and it told me I had to wait 24 hours. So don't make that mistake. Go enable that so it's ready to go. Okay, if you visit studio.youtube.com, that's where you can go and start creating or start setting some of this up. You click the go live button and then follow the steps to verify your account and enable live streaming for your account. The key there is they want to verify your account and make sure that it's really you that does that. Okay, from there, clicking on the camera icon in the corner, you'll have an option to go live or upload a video. So if you click go live, then it brings up this page. This page is very similar to other places, but go live, and you're going to answer the questions, name the video live stream, adjust the audience settings. Again, going back to, is it 18 or older or 18 or younger, and making sure you're setting that appropriately. Because it is a live stream, you're going to want to be very careful if you don't restrict it at what you're saying. Again, go back and read that policy so you know what you're getting yourself into. Okay, optional settings is schedule it for later. If you're going to do regular lives, I encourage you to schedule them in advance so your audience knows when they're going to happen. If you're going to do on a regular schedule, that's probably the best. So then people can start scheduling it in, and that's how you start building that audience. And then smile for the thumbnail, because what it does is immediately it's going to schedule, it's going to take your thumbnail for that live right there and then. You don't get to choose or pick. It's going to take it from your camera right there and then. So make sure you're ready for that, because I have some really interesting live thumbnails, because I was not ready for that. Okay, YouTube live checklist, write these down. Test the full setup. Go through and record a 30-second test. Make sure you check your lighting, check your mic, check your camera, make sure everything in the background is good. Do all of that before you go live, because once you go live, you're done. I've made this mistake, can you tell? Schedule your live streams in advance so that your audience can anticipate them. They can be ready for them. Provide a description. Make sure, plan your lives out. Don't just go live just because you're going to go live. Actually plan them out. If you're going to do a Q&A, you don't necessarily have the questions yet. Figure out, okay, in this Q&A, I'm going to talk about these 3 items. Q&As tend to go really, really long. I encourage you to cut them a little bit shorter. Reason being, if you're going to use them as a Q&A later for your business, you're going to want them a little shorter. Your business, your clients are not going to want to watch an hour-long Q&A session. Keep them down to 10 minutes. If you can put them at that, they'll watch a 10-minute video to get the answer to their question. They're not going to watch an hour-long video to get the answer to their question. So if you can do those in about 10 minutes, that's what I encourage you to do. But if you put in the description, it's Q&A on this day, this time, and these are the items that we're going to talk about, then you can start collecting questions on those particular items and keep it very structured. Okay, choose a high contrast, clear thumbnail image. Okay, at that point in time when you're scheduling it, you can do that. Okay, and then announce the greater to gather audience questions. So on your social media platforms and different things like that, you can actually go and say, I'm going to go live on YouTube on this day, and you start gathering those as well. So those are just some checklists. Okay, during your live, feature your channel. Okay. Get the most out of what you're looking for. You've got a captive audience. You want to get the most out of them. Okay, deliver opening and closing remarks. Always open it and then close it so it doesn't seem to trail off. And then track or stay on track and focus. Again, structure to your lives. Even though it's live and it's very impromptu, you still want to have a focus and a structure to it. And then answer audience questions. That's one of the reasons why people will engage in lives, because they can get their questions answered right there in the moment. And then create highlight clips. So you can actually take your lives and then create highlight clips from your lives and break them down, which is a lot of fun. Okay. Post live, publish your live stream in your archives to your channel. Kind of a given, and then create an archive playlist of your lives. That way people can go back to the lives and, oh, remember that one live when they talked about this thing? They have that opportunity to do that. And then direct your audience to your live stream archives. Having people go back after the fact and watch those is actually really, really great for your channel insights. Okay, promote your business with video ads. This is one of our last sections. We're going to watch a video right here. Hopefully I can get it to play. Last time we had some issues with that. Let me make sure I'm sharing my audio. I am. Let's see if we do this. Of course.
Sorry about the snorting. Normally, after a surgical procedure, pets typically go home with what's called a cone or an e-collar. My name is Stephanie Seiberg, and I am the owner and developer of Tulane's Closet. When I was in veterinary medicine, I had a lot of clients come and ask if there was something else out there that they could use, and that's how it kind of got started. I had an idea. It's a one-piece post-surgical pet garment. The advantages of the Cover Me by Chewy is that they can eat, sleep a lot easier than wearing a cone. They can actually get through their doggy door. They can relax comfortably. Video can show people what it's made out of, how to put it on, how easy it is to use the potty cover. YouTube, it's great for people that are just starting a new business or small business owners like myself, because we're all on a budget. As you see that business is growing, you can always add to that at any time. We have doubled almost every year since we started in 2013. There's so many people now that really consider their pet their family, and they want them to be comfortable. I think a lot of dogs are a lot happier right now.
Okay, so that is an example of a business that has used YouTube ads to grow their revenues for their business. And that was an interesting, I'd never thought about putting basically PJs on my pet after they've gone to the vet, but they've actually figured out a need in the market and filled that need, but they've used YouTube ads to get their word out there. Now, let's think about this. Would you really understand what that product was and what it did if you hadn't seen a video, if someone just tried to explain it to you? Probably not. And that just kind of shows the power of video and what that can do for a business. Now, if you're in a business and you're trying to expand your market and you're already using social media ads and things like that, think about what a YouTube ad might be able to do. People are already spending over 200 hours a day watching YouTube, what your audience could pick up in that amount of time. So if you go to youtube.com/ads, you can explore advertising on YouTube. There are different formats for ads on YouTube. There are bumper ads. There are non-skippable in-stream ads. You know, when you get to a video and you can skip after, say, 5 seconds. And there's some that you can't. That shows the difference between the two. Outstream ads, there's the video discovery ads, and then there's in-stream ads. There's a lot of different options within YouTube. There are different size ads as well. There's a 6-second bite. Okay, there's another thing that they call a snack, which is 15 to 20 seconds. And then there's the meal, which is a 30-plus-second ad. And so that just kind of gives you an idea of what can be done on YouTube as well. So telling a 6-second story in a bumper ad, okay? 9 in 10 drive significant lift in ad recall. In the average, it takes about 38%. So if you think about how quickly we're skipping ads, if you can tell your story in 6 seconds, then it will be a big difference in what you can accomplish with ads. And that also goes with any of the social media channels. So TrueView ads, after 5 seconds, the viewer has the ability to skip the ad. You pay only for the views that watch for 30 seconds or to the end of the ad. Okay, so those are the options there with the TrueView ads, which is really, really nice when you're on a limited budget. You only want to pay for the ones that you actually get a return on investment, or a pay-per-view is essentially what this is. And then compensation, banner effectively at the no charge to you run a skippable ad, essentially is what that is. Okay, so those are the 3 types of ads that you can run on YouTube. And on YouTube and Google ads are a totally different beast. And we don't have enough time to go over those today. I actually have, I believe it's next week, if I remember right, the basics of Google ads. And so if you are interested in learning more about those, get onto that webinar next week. So next steps, you need to create your channel, create and upload videos, and then explore additional resources that are available to you. So those are the next steps to this workshop. Some additional resources is Creator Academy. YouTube actually has an entire Creator Academy that you can get on for free and learn more information on how to be more effective on YouTube. Creator Academy is a great source. I leaned on it heavily when I first started out. So the other thing you can do is if you would like to be more ad ready and things like that, you can actually work with YouTube's trusted partners to help you really work from scratch, either with whether you're working from scratch to develop ads or you're repurposing existing videos and images. You have that option as well. Google and YouTube have trusted resources to do that as well. So last but not least, free online training and tools through Google. If you go to google.com/grow, They have a massive library for teachers and students, business owners, job seekers, and developers on pretty much every different subject that has to do with Google. So you're more than welcome to go there and gather additional information beyond even my knowledge of all the different sources that Google has. And so that's another option. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share now, and we're going to pull up all of the different social medias. If you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat or the comments as I'm pulling up the different social media platforms. And we'll go ahead and get started with that Q&A. Okay, so those that are on Zoom, you're really quiet today. So I have a question coming across LinkedIn asking how I don't let social media take over my life. So I'm a very big person on creating content in advance and scheduling it. I mentioned that before. I take time and I plan out all my social media for whether it's my personal brand or for my business. And I figure out, hey, this is what it's going to look like. This is going to be my 90-day challenges. If we're doing challenges, this is what our programming is going to look like. And then when I decide that I'm going to film specifically for YouTube, I actually film 4 or 5 videos in one setting. I will pick out the clothing and have that all laid out. I'll get my hair all done and my makeup all done. And then I will spend, say, a Saturday because that's the day I might have free. And I will start in the morning and I will film one video, and then I'll go and change my clothes and might change my hair a little bit, and then I'll film the next video, and then I'll do the same thing again and then the next video, and I'll film 4 or 5 videos in one day. That can be impossible for some people, but that is how I get a month's worth of content done within a weekend. And then I spend anytime I'm sitting and watching a video with the family, or I said I'm single, so I have my Sundays afternoon or something like that. That's when I edit my videos and I prepare them for upload. And like I said, I schedule everything out. I'm a big proponent of content creating in advance. I write all that stuff out in advance, and I don't have, being the ADHD and dyslexic, I have to plan all that out, and I don't sit still very often. So I have to be very careful with that. Can you explain the differences again between unlisted and private? Okay, so unlisted, if you give somebody the link to the video, regardless of who and where they are, they have access to, they can watch that video as long as they have that link and it's shareable. So if you give somebody the link in an email, then they can share it with anybody and they can all watch it, okay? Private is only people you very specifically select can watch that video, okay? It's not linkable, it's not shareable, only people you select can share it. So it helps with your, like for me, I own a wealth management firm, and so we're under SEC and FINRA guidelines and everything else like that. And we're watched very heavily, especially right now with everything that's going on with the financial sectors and things like that. We're under huge scrutiny all the time. Any financial sector is. And so like our training videos on particular products and particular services and things like that, and they change regularly. I joke with my agents, you're under perma school constantly, right? And so we constantly have to evaluate those and make sure that they're constantly updated. So we put those on private links, and we only have specific people within our agency have access to those. And then as soon as they are outdated, we have to pull them down, but they're on a private. So I only have to worry about the people who are shared within that private link. So you select who you have access to that, and nobody else can share it. Nobody else can have access. You as the owner of that video have access to who sees that. Does that answer your question? Okay. What software is the best? to use to edit. You know, there's a lot of different softwares out there to use to edit. We here at Spark actually use Adobe. I use Adobe myself at home. If you have an iPhone, which I have, iPhone Clips, I think is what it's called, works very, very well. If you're just starting out, you don't have to buy fancy software. You can use iPhone Clips if you're using an iPhone. When I used my Android, when I first started out, there was a free software, and I can't think of the name of it, but it works really, really well. And of course, I should have pulled that. But there are softwares. What you have to decide when you're looking for a software is what's going to do what you need it to do. Because you can get really, really fancy and pay a lot of money for software, but you don't necessarily need to do that. You need to figure out what you need it to do. When you're first starting out, I encourage you to just start with the basics. Clips is great if you have an iPhone. If you can get a basic so you can get the swing of things rather than getting a really complicated software that is hard to learn and that you're learning at this level, but you're starting here. It's really, really hard and you'll get frustrated and fall out. The question is, do I encourage having multiple channels? I encourage you having one channel. I'm going over time. Sorry, we're gonna wrap this up really quick. I encourage you to have one channel and get used to having one channel and get in the swing of things. And then once you have your one channel and you're in the swing of things, then move into then you can figure out how to add another channel if you need another channel. A lot of times, most people don't need another channel. I just have two separate, very separate, actually it's three very separate entities that don't intertwine. And so I needed the different channels. So start with one, get to the swing of things, get really good at the editing, get really good at those pieces. And then when you feel like you're ready, add the other pieces. It's like social media. When you're first going into business, get really good at one or two, and then start adding the other ones if you feel like you need it or if you feel like you have the time. Don't let YouTube and social media take over your entire life. One of the things that I did really, really early in my career is I take the 2 weeks around Christmas off work. I don't take appointments and things like that. I'm with family. I usually take a vacation somewhere in that, and I will take my laptop with me and I will write content. As we're watching Christmas movies, I'm a big Hallmark Channel fan. I'm one of those. I will sit and I will write content, posts and things like that during that time as we're sitting and watching movies. I'm not taking away from my family time, but I'm taking the downtime to actually write posts and things like that. Utilize that downtime to write those posts and get yourself ahead of time. Don't let it take over your life. Okay, are there any other questions that we have before we close up today? We've already gone over on time. Okay. What camera do I use? Actually, these days, I just use my iPhone. I used to have a Canon. I loved it, but I needed to upgrade, and so I just have an iPhone these days, and I film, and then I download it onto the computer, and we use Adobe. Really simple. Anything else? How do I decide when I'm going to post? Okay, the posting schedule is the key, is consistency. If you're going to post every week, then post every week and be consistent with that. If you're going to post every other week, then post every other week and be consistent with that. That's kind of the key. I am not as, I had to, for personal reasons, step back from a lot of my posting and things like that. And chose to kind of step back from that stuff. And I have other people taking the reins on that within my organizations. You just have to kind of choose what will work for you, your business, and your lifestyle. What kind of mic do I use? I use a Bluetooth mic that I ordered off of Amazon that works with my phone. You have to figure out what will work with your equipment and where you're going to be filming. If you're going to be filming outside in the wind, you need to make sure you have the right accessories on your phone to buffer that wind. A lot of people forget that aspect when they're first getting started. And then, so it just depends on what you're using to film. I just was able to find a really good Bluetooth enabled microphone that just clips to my lapel or my shirt that works really, really great. So figure out what you're going to use, and then you might go through 2 or 3 mics before you find a really, really great one. I think I went through 6 in total in 10 years to figure out what really works really great for my stuff. What if you're afraid to be on camera? So this funny story. So if you're afraid to be on camera, the key is starting. That's what it comes down to. So when I first got started, if you go back and you look at my first videos, and no, I'm not giving out my channels. If you come across it, good for you. My first videos, hair, makeup, wardrobe was perfect. My videos are very amateur, but I made sure that I looked great because I thought that that's what had to happen. I started in the age of lifestyle. The showing off of the lifestyle and the houses and the cars and things like that were really, really important. And I thought that that's what I had to portray to people. And so I didn't post constantly and things like that. Here's the thing. One day I got mad about something, and I'm not going to tell you what it was, but I got mad about something, and I had no makeup on. My hair was in a bun, like on the top of my head, poking out with an alfalfa thing going on. And I got on a live, go figure, and I ranted about something. And that video had the most views. And because of that rant, all of a sudden my other videos started trending because I showed the real side of business. I showed the real side of what it was like to be essentially me in this particular industry. All of a sudden I was a real person. People want to see the real authentic you. They don't care if it's always perfect. They don't care. They want to know that you're real. They want to know that sometimes it's a mess. They want to know that sometimes you're doing bookkeeping and your kids are on the floor around your feet and you're just trying to stay caught up. They want to know that you're like them. And it's okay. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to start. And I had to learn that the hard way. And I had to learn that it was okay to just be me. And so that was a big change for me. So if you're afraid to get on camera, don't rant. Highly encourage not to do that. But it's okay to just get on. Things don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the exact perfect software. You don't have to have the exact perfect camera. Just start somewhere. And you will learn over time. It will get better over time. You will get more confident over time. It happens. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close up for the day. If you have any other questions, you can email them to me. If you were on Zoom, if you were on social media, keep commenting, and I will answer them throughout the day as I get to a minute and get time. Thanks for staying with us, especially when we are 10 minutes over time. You guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you next week when we go over basics of Google Ads. Have a wonderful day.